Hold on, Adam Sandler is shooting in Toronto, and we're hearing that the Raptors will sign an NBA player who starred in the movie Hustle. What exactly is happening here? We couldn't have imagined that the Toronto Raptors would sign a free agent who also happens to be a rising movie star, despite the team being the subject of some wild NBA off-season rumors. Let's find out more. First up, who's the movie star? The newest addition of the Dino crew is Spanish power forward Juancho Hernangomez, who is 26 years old. If you aren't familiar with his achievements on the court, you probably know about his growing acting career. Juancho Hernangomez, a free agent who co-starred with the former SNL star in a popular Netflix film, is reportedly close to signing a one-year contract with the Raptors. If you're wondering, it was Bo Cruz, a Spanish basketball player training for the NBA draft, portrayed by a 26-year-old actor in the film. Hernangomez was a member of the Spanish team that won the 2019 FIBA World Cup in China, so it doesn't hurt that the acting job was just up his alley. He gained fame off the court as Bo Cruz, an undrafted talent who is discovered by co-star Adam Sandler's NBA scout character in the sports drama comedy Hustle. In case you're curious as to why Bo Cruz has become a Twitter trend, let us help you. The Bo Cruz link is simply the most recent example of what appears to be an Adam Sandler cultural takeover of Toronto. Even his fellow Raptor Scotty Barnes is calling his teammate by his character name. Hernangomez, who stands a towering 6 feet 9 inches tall, has the ability to offer an outstanding wingspan to the Raptors team. He's the 15th overall choice in the 2016 NBA draft, has only played for 6 NBA teams, and has acquired a reputation as something of a journeyman. So what's the deal? The team has not yet made an official announcement about the signing, BT dubs, but fans are enthusiastic about the possibility of Hernangomez visiting Toronto, as seen by the comments that cover the team's most recent Instagram post. Ironically, the film also features Raptors GOAT Kyle Lowry, which further adds to the intrigue surrounding the whole issue. What about Sandler? Well, he spent the entire summer filming You Are So Not Invited to My Bat Mitzvah in Toronto. What a name, eh? We've noticed that the Billy Madison actor seems to be establishing himself in the city as quite the man of the people. The Sandman was seen hamming it up while playing a pickup game with a group of complete strangers at Ramsden Park last month. Safe to say he's enjoying his time in Canada. Next, let's look at Juancho's stats. During the 2021-22 season, Hernangomez was a member of the Celtics, Spurs, and Jazz. In 17 games with the team, he played his most significant role, averaging 6.2 points and 3.5 rebounds while shooting 43.8% from the three-point range. Hernangomez, a first-round pick in the 2016 NBA draft, will return to the league as a fan favorite. Yes, that's right, he's not off to a life of fame and fortune in Hollywood, even after starring with Adam Sandler in the Netflix film. In the movie, Hernangomez's character assists Sandler, who's playing the role of a scout, as the duo get ready for the NBA draft. The 26-year-old will soon be a part of a young, promising Raptor squad that finished 48-34 in the last campaign to secure the number 5 seed in the Eastern Conference. In the first round of the playoffs, we saw how Toronto was defeated by Philadelphia in 6 games. Hernangomez played for Minnesota before being selected by Denver with the 15th overall pick in 2016. He'll compete for up to 2 spots on the roster for the team's opening night with Dalano Banton, Justin Champagnie, DJ Wilson, Armoni Brooks, and others. The Raptors currently have the maximum 20 players anticipated for camp, which starts in late September, barring any summer transactions. Next, how are the Raptors looking with a shiny addition to their squad? The Toronto Raptors last season only achieved their individual lineup's potential, since a structure is only as strong as its individual parts, a building as strong as its beams, and this team, well, shaky. In Toronto, 7 ensembles recorded more than 100 minutes the previous year, and a large portion of the team's accomplishments and setbacks from the previous season were appropriately reflected by those lineups. The bench groups, particularly those with Chris Boucher and Precious Achiuwa, were outstanding. 3 Raptors lineups with at least 100 minutes each, featuring one or both of those bench bigs, were among the team's finest high-minute combinations this season. Toronto's 2 highest-minute groups of the year were also below average. The starters, who played 700 total minutes, the 15th most in the league, were below the average for a starting group at plus 1.8 per 100 possessions. The ones who played the second most minutes on the team, but had Khem Birch replace OG Anunoby, were even worse, losing minutes by minus 2.7 points for every 100 possessions. So the Raptors weren't at their best by far, to say the least. Shockingly, the team's finest talent was particularly bad because the starters were worse than they should have been. Unfortunately, the Raptors starting lineup is unlikely to change. In the end, it all comes down to the players. Siakam and Van Vliet must continue to play at an all-star level. Trent and Anunoby will need to make easy shots and create mistakes. Barnes should see use shift more and more in his favor, and Achiuwa will need to show that his improvements weren't a fluke. And Juancho, well, he just has to be his charming little self for all we care. JK, please don't come for our throats. Compared to previous seasons, we think that the squad should have more structural advantages, since its players have more chances to maintain and even improve their play. Last year, despite the units on the floor, their wins were quite less. This year, we hope that their lineups will work as motivating forces. And now for other news from the NBA world. First up, let's go over some news about Kevin Durant's trade rumors. Phoenix Suns and Miami Heat were reportedly the top two teams on Kevin Durant's list when he first requested a trade. Both teams had difficult roadblocks to overcome in order to win the 2014 NBA MVP. DeAndre Ayton had to be signed and traded by the Suns to Brooklyn, but they're no longer able to accomplish that. Even if Miami wanted to, it couldn't send Bam Adebayo to Brooklyn because Ben Simmons and he are both ineligible to play for the Nets according to league regulations. Durant has had to extend his focus a little in order to maintain his trade chances now that those two teams are off the table. The Boston Celtics are one squad that has recently become a contender. There are reports that Durant now sees Boston as an ideal situation, but none of this is intended to imply that a deal is close at hand. Seeing how all of this is playing out, Durant's trade value will decrease without a doubt, but the Nets seem committed to getting fair value in return. This implies that it might be late for training camp. If the Celtics want to avoid that, they can up their offer because they know Durant would be happy to join them for the upcoming season. Next, some disturbing news coming from the courts. In her multi-million-dollar lawsuit against the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department over exposed images of the bodies of the NBA star and his daughter, who both died in a helicopter crash in 2020, Kobe Bryant's widow will appear in court on Wednesday. Vanessa Bryant argues in her federal lawsuit for invasion of privacy that deputies shared the images with the firefighters who arrived at the crash scene and did not take them for investigative purposes. Close-up images of Gianna and Kobe's bodies were circulated on at least 28 Sheriff's Department devices and displayed in bars and at an awards dinner by at least a dozen firefighters. And lastly, here's what the county sheriffs are accusing Vanessa Bryant of. We know that the pictures from the crash scene got leaked, and Kobe's wife left no stone unturned in getting justice. But now, she's facing the wrath at the hands of a cold-hearted county. Vanessa's lawyer claimed that a private spectator at the 2020 Golden Mike Awards, a broadcast television awards ceremony held less than a month after the accident, saw Tony Imbrenda, the public information officer for the LA County Fire Department, discussing and displaying the images to others. Once she discovered there were no survivors, the widow reportedly instructed LA Sheriff Alex Villanueva to barricade the crash site and prohibit any images on January 26, 2020. So how and why were these private sensitive images of their last moments being shown to random people by the officer? The helicopter charter business and the pilot's estate have both been sued by Vanessa Bryant. The county has maintained that Bryant's mental suffering was caused by the killings, not the images, and that the sheriff has had them destroyed. First responders are prohibited from photographing the dead at the scene of an accident or crime under a legislation that was inspired by the collision. Her attorneys condemned the vicious techniques used to pressure Bryant and other family members of victims to drop their claims when the county requested a psychiatric evaluation of Bryant to establish whether she experienced mental anguish as a result of the images, and called her case a money grab. Utterly shameful. That's a wrap for this video. How do you feel about a movie star making it to an NBA team? Let us know in the comments below. As always, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.